Hey, 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 hey. It's the new anthem for the new era. Fins up. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. It's the new era and we back up in the mix. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. It's the new era and we back up in the mix. Throw it up. Throw your foe up in the sky. Throw it up. Let them know that we gon' ride. Where you from? We be reppin' worldwide. DWA, stay loyal till we die. But it's the come up. We been down for a minute. This the come up. We been reppin' stay consistent. This the come up. Now the world gotta feel it. Reppin' so loud, whole world gotta hear it. New era. Dolphins on the cliz-out, tick, tick, tiz-out, till we reach the tiz-out. This a never stiz-out, reppin' till we drizz-out. So low D, I be reppin' with this hip-hop. Throw them fins up, throw them fins up, hit, throw them fins up, throw them fins up, hit, throw them fins up, throw them fins up, hit. It's the new era and we back up in the mix. Throw them fins up, throw them fins up, hit, throw them fins up, throw them fins up, hit, throw them fins up. Throw them fins up, hit. It's the new era and we back up in the mix.
It's the new era and we back up in the mix. Ain't no more relying on fits. It's time for Tua to get us lit. That's why we got Waddle at 6 and Jalen Phillips is a brick at 36. We got Javon Hollins, Madden hit stick. Eichenberg protecting hips. 2 whole years and he ain't slipped. Run along, he got that gritter, triple threat, he's so legit. Garner Coleman, Jared Dokes, the 7th round was such a gift. That's why we toast, that's why we sip, that's why we reppin' MSM. Miami sports music, don't confuse it, don't abuse it. Unless you want a new contusion, real talk, ain't no illusion. Solo D started a movement, MSM the institution. TD Fins the contribution, yeah, we started a new unit.
Throw them fins up, throw them fins up, hit, throw them fins up, throw them fins up, hit, throw them fins up, throw them fins up, hit. It's the new era and we back up in the mix. Throw them fins up, throw them fins up, hit, throw them fins up, throw them fins up, hit, throw them fins up, throw them fins up, hit. It's the new era and we back up in the mix. MIAMIDOLPAINs. When do I begin? I've been rapping since a kid. If you rapping, then we can. TWA, if you rapping, then we can. Welcome to Persian. We asking what would Shula do? He would take the narrative and spin it like a hula hoop. He say let it Coach Flow. Coach Flow gon' do his thing and he gon' bring it to it in and to it. Come and change the game. Watch the squad ball out. Got the fans all excited. Coolers out. Grills on. Got the tailgate ignited. It's the Aqua One Society. They know we stay united. DWA. We be down to start a riot. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. It's the new era and we back up in the mix. Who that?
So low, so low, so low D.
Try to tell. You feel me? But that's how we put it down. We put it down every time. When it's time to show up for the fans, we out here. You dig?
They know it's coming. Yeah.
Yeah, here with it, man. Let's go, DW, man.
Hard times, can't stop me cause I'm all grind, can't block me cause I'm gon' shine, do the greatest shit of all time, I'm feeling like I'm Shula, play perfect like I'm Shula, put working like I'm Shula, undefeated like I'm Shula, play perfect like I'm strategize, stay corporate with a savage side, it ain't about winning, it can't have my time, I got no time, I only focus on the bottom line, I gotta grind, strategize, stay corporate with a savage side, it ain't about winning, it can't have my time, I got no time, I only focus on the bottom line, I gotta grind like Shula, playing for perfection like Shula, running with the winners, no losers. We are not the same, don't confuse us. We are not the same, don't confuse us.
playing for perfection like Shula. Running with the winners, no losers. We are not the same, don't confuse us. Don't confuse us. Hard times. Can't stop me cause I'm all grind. Can't block me cause I'm gon' shine. Do the greatest shit of all time. I'm feeling like I'm Shula. Play perfect like I'm Shula. Put working like I'm Shula. Undefeated like I'm Shula. Play perfect like I'm Shula. Hard times, can't stop me cause I'm all grind. Can't block me cause I'm gon' shine. Do the greatest shit of all time. I'm feeling like I'm Shula. Play perfect like I'm Shula. Put working like I'm Shula. Undefeated like I'm Shula. Play perfect like I'm Shula.
So low.
Rest in peace, Don Shula. Still perfect.
Hey, what's up? Y'all know who it is, man. It's the Dolphins D. We already in here. Ready to turn up this year. We gon' get it.
Welcome to Hard Rock Stadium.
We gon' defend it. Homie, this side. We gon' defend it. Let me say, his squad. We gon' defend it. Homie, this side. We gon' defend it. Let me say, his squad. I got the whole squad with me now. Train to go. Come play games if you want to. Try to crash eyes, you done took the wrong route. We gon' crash in you like a stunt dude. Check y'all like 1, 2. Tap your head like your uncle. You wanna ride, stay buckle. It get loud down here, get wild down here. Turn the field to a jungle. Never disrespect the squad that's defended by a line. And some beasts on the feast on opposition. Another line in the back, sing it to the ER. Just in case you got through the first line with tripping. But if for some reason it get crazy, I got watchers on the corner for my safety. Everybody here well coached. Change the weather under pressure, stay cool like an AC. Woo! But we still make heat. Woo! Was you trying to play me? We be 3+ AD, but I'm a fool so low. Can't never do great beat. Be great, only way to do great things. Hit hard, only way to make a statement. Come up in our territory, make a payment. Or be in debt with your neck, gotta play. We gon' defend it. Homie, this side. We gon' defend it. Let me say, his squad. We gon' defend it. Homie, this side. We gon' defend it. Let me say, his squad.
I hit them boys. We throw them toys. That's saying that QB. We them boys. We the realest. We go gorillas. We out here, homie. You gon' feel us. Don't make me come down. Get in that box. Like I'm red. I'll knock your socks. Won't play y'all boys. Cause we some bullies. We'll take your cookies. Cause y'all some rookies. I'm in the building. Me and Shot Jones. We do lane. We don't play zone. We play that man. So guard your hands. I see your eyes. You're scared,
We
man.
We gon' defend it. Homie, this side. We gon' defend it. Let me say, his squad. We gon' defend it. Homie, this side. Homie, this side. Here we go, the bend. Let me hear you say, his squad. 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 His squad.
Emmanuel Ogburn, part of the Buffet Boys. Shout out Solo D. Shout out to DWA. Let's eat.
Yo, Solo. You know they been saying you gotta make a hit squad part 2. But you know, man, we hungry this time, man. We gotta eat this time. Yeah.
Back in the beast mode. AFC, we tryna rap on the East Coast. Take shots, fall back, then reload. Get the powder time to slap up these foes. Anytime we hit the field, then we must play. Any boys going hard, man, I must say. Try to stay in one route like the busway. Trying to eat teams up like a buffet. Eat the offense like a buffet. Eat the quarterback like a buffet. Eat the running back like a buffet. Eat the wide receiver like a buffet. Eat the whole line like a buffet. Eat the coach up like a buffet. Eat the fan base like a buffet. Stay in one route like the busway.
I say and not quote. Go hard or go home is the motto. A pick or a sack is the lotto. Let's cook them like Emerald Lagasso. My bad, Lagasse. He going south, that is not me. Hungry for greatness, so I eat. Stay in my zone like a Bobby. Jumping off the edge like Ian Shaq. Straight pressure, never easing back. Protection on the way you gon' get wins. Split through the middle like Wilkins. Got some backers on the back that's gon' back me up. Straight action, we be acting up. Tell Coach drop his best plan, but it still get snatched by X-Man. Cause we back in the beast mode. AFC, we tryna rap on the East Coast. Take shots, fall back, then reload. Get the powder time to slap up these foes. Anytime we hit the field, then we must play. Any boys going hard, man, I must say. Try to stay in one route like the busway. Trying to eat teams up like a buffet. Eat the offense like a buffet. Eat the quarterback like a buffet. Eat the running back like a buffet. Eat the wide receiver like a buffet. Eat the whole line like a buffet. Eat the coach up like a buffet. Eat the fan base like a buffet. Stay one route like a buffet.
Eating like a buffet, it be a long day. We ain't gon' play. Yeah, them boys green, no subway. Pick the ball off X and BJ. I don't care about what he and she say. That's nonsense. Check the replay. I work overnight and it's early morning, but I'm turned up cause it's game day. They don't really want it with your boy. Old line really get destroyed. Ex-Patriot, Cal Van Noy. Put him on his butt, hurt hemorrhoids. What's a grown man to a boy? Jam him at the line, dare you to throw it. Discipline coach Brian Flores. Never getting rattled to the boys. Fans better pay attention, need the social distance. I got a witness and you know we blitzing, but mind your business. Christian Wilkins on the line of scrimmage. Far from timid, push it to the limit, rev the engine. You know we gotta get it, Nick Needle. You know we gonna pick it, Van Ginkle. Take it to the business. Fins up till my life is finished. Say it with my chest cause I'm in it. A lie, no why, I admit it. New era, yeah, our division. A win streak, we just keep on winning. So a loser, tell them suck a limit. Bills with the Jets in New England. Miami top dogs where you hit me.
Back in the beast mode. AFC, we tryna rap on the East Coast. Take shots, fall back, then reload. Get the powder time to slap up these foes. Anytime we hit the field, then we must play. Any boys going hard, man, I must say. Try to stay in one route like the busway. Trying to eat teams up like a buffet. Eat the offense like a buffet. Eat the quarterback like a buffet. Eat the running back like a buffet. Eat the wide receiver like a buffet. Eat the whole line like a buffet. Eat the coach up like a buffet. Eat the fan base like a buffet. Stay in one route like the busway.
So low, so low, so low, deep. So low, so low, so low, deep.
guys. I'm Danny Johnson, CEO at TPP, The Positive Porpoise.
I'm Jason Miller from Fins Up SoCal Fan Club.
I'm Scott Howell from Atlanta Dolphin Club.
Mark Angelo, NorCal Dolphin Club.
And you're listening to Clock Blockers, Miami fans' #1 morning show.
Run it, 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 run it.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Stephen D., and we are live on this Throwback Thursday. It's time for the #1 Miami fan morning show on the #1 Miami fan podcast network. I'm talking about Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. I'm your host, Stephen D. Super excited y'all are hanging with me on Clock Blockers. I want to say good morning to my Fins family and my Fin-laws. It's super excited to hear from you all. It's super excited to see you all. I love you all. I want to say good morning to everybody in the chat so far. Tracy Bailey, A's Dolphins, Larry, Big Drip ENT, Pete is in the building, Alonzo, Obi, Chef Shu, the mayor, self-dubbed the mayor. I like it. The mayor of the Fin-laws. Stetson O, Terrence Hurton. What else? We got Alonzo. I already said Alonzo. Darren. X is in the building. Tommy Lee. Who else we got? Sway2387 is in the building. Justice. Mark Norcal, the Godfather. The Godfather. You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding and you ask, the Godfather. The Godfather, baby. Mark Norcal's in the building. Blake McDonald. And Andrew Harrison. Estefan. Spurs still suck, Estefan. Hey, man. I don't want to say, hey, Miami football talk. Miami football talk. NorCal Auto said, Stephen, good day to you and Tamika and the Little Fins. I appreciate it. Super excited. The little Fins are on their way to school this morning. And the wife is doing her thing this morning. So, shout out to her because she's awesome. Okay. Look, if you haven't done so already, hit that like button, please. Hit it. Subscribe to the channel. Let us know what's going on. Make sure you're here. Want to make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. If you guys are not able to donate, the best thing you can do to help this channel grow is share it. Let people know that we're here. Copy the link down below. Put it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Say, hey, what are you guys doing in the mornings? You guys need to be watching the #1 Miami fan morning show. That's what you need to be telling your brother, your daddy, your mama, your sister, your cousins, your auntie, your uncles. Who else am I missing? The neighbor next door, Joe. I'm just telling you. The old lady you helped put groceries in her car. Are you a Miami Dolphins fan, man? Well, if so, you should watch this morning show because it's awesome. I'm just saying. Yes. I like it. JD says, sharing your socials too, y'all. Let's go. Baby's daddy. Oh, see, I forgot Baby's daddy. Baby's daddy. Yep. I saw what you did there, Miami Football Talk. Andrevius is in the building. Big A. Big A is in the building. NorCal says, Dolphins having a tough time keeping their quarterback direct. Maybe Watson is the answer for 60-minute quarterback erection. I can't with y'all. If you guys want to donate to the channel and help the channel grow, there's 3 different ways to do it. You guys can use the YouTube Live Super Chat, which is the $ down at the bottom of the chat. You guys can also do PayPal, which is MSM Podcast Network. And you also can do Cash App, which is also $ MSM Podcast Network. If you guys want to go ahead and do that, it goes to helping the channel grow. And that's what we're trying to do here is trying to do a lot of big things. We had a big meeting yesterday with our sponsor of the show, Tail Greeter. Shout out to Tail Greeter. And let me just say, I got a lot of stuff on the horizon for y'all. A lot of stuff in the works. But one of the things that I want to be able to do is tell you all about Tail Greeter. Tailgreeter is an amazing company. Look, here's the reality. The product on the field is not good right now. But the product outside the stadium, the experience, the pregame, best around. If you don't want to go, if you don't want to, look, you guys can go to the tailgate and then watch the game at, you can watch the game outside. You don't even got to go in. That's how awesome this tailgate is. A tailgate is a way for fans to express their love and community and passion in the city. When it comes to themselves, they root for the team they root for, okay? So tailgate's the best way to do it. So go to tailgreeter.com, type in East 32 Dolphins Tailgate, and you come out and you get to hang out with us. And let me tell you, it's a good time. It's a good time, okay? If you guys want to sign up and become a member of the channel, I forgot about that. If you want to sign up and become a member of the channel, I know my man Ennis has been having a difficult time becoming a member of the channel. Chef Shu, if you could get with Ennis and help my man out so that way he can become a member of the channel again, that would be greatly appreciated. All right. Now that I got all that out the way, it is Throwback Thursday. Are y'all ready for some Throwback Thursday? I mean, come on. Look at some of these shots I pulled. It's Throwback Thursday, y'all. It's Throwback Thursday. And I'm super excited to be hanging out with y'all. All right, so one of the things last week that I wanted to do is Throwback Thursday, I think, is real important for the future of the show. I think it makes this day go by really good. We get to talk about past games. We get to talk about both franchises and where they've been at and what they've done. So, obviously, we're facing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this week. And we don't have a big history with them, but we have some history with them. Obi wants to know how much are parking tickets and what color code are tailgreeters. Color code is they're in orange lot, but if you go to yellow lot, there's a walkway that brings you right into the orange lot at East 32. So find out where East 32 is and park in the yellow lot across the street from it. And you just walk across the bridge and you're in right there. That's the best way to do it, man. Yellow parking lot to get into orange. Don't even worry about finding an orange parking lot because they're so hard to find. All right. He said, gotcha. See, that's what we do here. We give out information on the best way to hang out and party with the team. So, yeah. So what I wanted to do is I had such a good time last Thursday with my man, Dwayne D-Dub, who's been a part of the show since like day one. Honestly, he's been a big part of the show. He's been supporting, without a doubt every day. And so I wanted to make him a bigger part of Throwback Thursday. So he's going to be my co-host for Throwback Thursday. What's up, D-Dub?
Good morning. Good morning, Steven. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. How are you?
All right. I saw on my phone I had a message on my Twitter, and I'm like, I'm new to Twitter, so I said, "Oh, I missed my opportunity to get on the show." I thought it was for an old time, and I looked at the date stamp. I said, "Oh, it's today."
It's today. It's Throwback Thursdays today. Throwback Thursday is today, man.
So I had to shake the dust off of my memory bank. Boom, and I got here. What's going on, man?
What's going on, man? You ready to talk some Throwback Thursday?
I'm ready to talk, man. I'm ready to talk. The Bucks, their history is crazy.
It is.
When you think about the orange sickle uniforms that they first came into the league with.
The creamsicle uniforms.
The creamsicle ones. And you know what? They went through some of the same stuff that the Dolphins went through with their uniforms because everybody was associating the Dolphins with those Howard Johnson colors. They would make derogatory comments about them. They soft looking colors, and the Bucks went through the same thing, except for the first 2 years, they went 0-26. 0-26. Can you imagine a fan base?
We've had some losing seasons. Not that bad.
Not that bad. Yes, but to start out like that, least the Dolphins, the first year, they didn't start out with an O for the season.
No,
so
that's true. They got a dub.
They got some dubs, but to go 0-14 and then back that up with 0-12, they were the laughing stocks. And they had one of the best for that situation. They had the best coach, John McKay. He was a funny dude, was very successful at USC with the Trojans.
Yeah.
Had some great running backs. When you think about all the running backs, Mike Garrett, O.J. Simpson, Ricky Bell that came through that program back in that day before the passing onslaught came into college football, into NFL. It was about the running backs. And if you had a number 32, that was like number 12 jersey uniform. You were somebody if you had a 32.
Oh, look, yep, 100%.
And they had some awful. They had 2 awful seasons to start out. I mean, when you think about how bad Gary Premium's failure during the Super Bowl to get to make that quote unquote pass that cost them.
It was not a pass. Okay, let's stop calling it a pass. We've been watching it for 50 years. That was like, let me try to get the ball out. I mean, to this day, fans still rip that man.
Yeah. And players still rip him for the effort that he put on that tackle or that a tackle attempt. But it's considered a pass. But when you think about, there's a play where the kicker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the ball is rolling on the ground and the guy is trying to kick the ball after a failed snap. It is hilarious as well. Hilarious. If you go to YouTube, you can find that, people, you can see Gary Premium wasn't the only physically challenged kicker that the league has ever had. So
especially in the state of Florida.
Yes. Yes.
All right, let's go to the all-time. So right now, all-time, the Dolphins and the Buccaneers have played a total of 11 times. All-time in the regular season, just 11. Tampa Bay leads the series 6-5. And the last 4 games for the Dolphins, 2017, 2013, 2009, 2005. And the Dolphins have won 1 time in that time span. And that was the 2009 game where they won 25-23 in November of 2009. But they don't have a big history against each other. But do any of these games stick out for you, D-Dub? The 27. I know the 2013 game was a Monday night game, 22-19. And I know we lost that. And that was at Tampa. I remember watching that game.
Those games, I'm sorry to say, they don't stand out to me. They were a game on the schedule. Yep. And the Bucs, it's always been that way. This is probably the first time in.
I feel like we play them like every 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and it's a big deal, I guess, in Florida for bragging rights. But I remember more the players on those teams than the games themselves. I'm sorry, it's just that you have a lack of history and a lack of familiarity and contempt for the Bucs because they just don't play a lot. I mean, they're in different conferences. It might be a little different if it's Jacksonville because you're in the conference. You might play a little more frequently, but you think about guys on that team that played there, like Warwick Dunn. Great
Warwick
player.
Dunn. Yep.
And does great things in the community as well. And my girlfriend is calling me.
Tell her you are online. Tell her you are in the middle of a show. She doesn't know this?
She does not know this, that I'm online, that I'm on the show. So I'll probably get a chastisement a little later on especially since I texted her this morning, you know, like and showed us some emotion and some feeling.
D-Dub, you got to learn, man. You got to be communicative with the ladies, okay? You have to communicate. That is the number one goal in relationships. Be
like
communicative.
I said, this was a shocker because I just saw I saw the notification on my Twitter and I was like, oh, he means right now. Okay.
All right, let's kind of talk about Tampa Bay a little bit more in detail. So, look, I mean, a lot of people, you know, we'll go into their history and dive into their history a little bit. They have the creamsicle jerseys, which I would go as far to say are my second favorite jersey in the NFL. I wish that they would wear them again. That's how much I actually like those jerseys. I know some people hate them. I think they're cool. But, you know, the one player that sticks out to me for this team was Steve Young. Steve Young started out for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers before he went on to San Francisco and had a Hall of Fame career. But, you know, are there any does that stick out to you, Steve Young playing for the Bucs, or any other players?
Yes, and I remember that, and this is where you can tie it into what's going on today. Okay, Steve Young comes out and he has no success. Mm-hmm. He's terrible.
Terrible.
With a terrible team.
Terrible, and Kenny.
This is where it ties into today for the Dolphins. I'm going to use this parallel. Tua has not had the success that we all would like to see. I'm not saying that we're going to trade him, okay? But Steve Young, Hall of Fame career. He didn't start out well. So all you Tua lovers, all you Tuaneers, you can hang your hat on the fact that if you look at Steve Young's stats,
by the way, one other person, D-Dub, Doug Williams also started his career in Tampa and then went to win a Super Bowl in Washington.
Yep.
Shout out to Big Drip ENT for reminding me of that. So that's two quarterbacks that started for the Tampa Bay Bucs that went on to win Super Bowls with other teams.
You know, so keep your faith. Maybe it may take a few years of being in the oven for Tua to fully rise to his potential. But that was a trying time for the Buccaneers. You got your association with them with Steve Young. I go a little bit further back. I remember two players for sure. And as far as my first contact and first memories of the
Hey, D-Dub, you're sounding a little muffled, just so you know.
Okay, because the phone came in and it changed the volume on. Let me see.
Look,
let me go out and come back in.
D-Dub's all right. You go out and you come back in, D-Dub. D-Dub's not used to this yet. We're getting D-Dub set up to be this. We'll work with him. We'll work with him. Shout out to Flipside for making me remind that. All right, let's go to Vinny Testaverde from the U. He did play. Yep, 100%. Bo Jackson played for Tampa. Before Brady, Tampa was a laundromat. No doubt about that. 100% think that was the case. Let's see here. Mike Allstott was one of my all-time favorite Bucs. Mike Allstott. Shout out to Mike Allstott. One of the best fullbacks in the game. All right, it looks like D-Dub's back. Let's see if we get D-Dub back. All right, D-Dub.
I'm back. Can you hear me?
100%. You sound so much better.
All right. Now I'm on the computer, so it's a little bit better. But my first recollections for players, great players for the Bucs, was Leroy Selman. Now Leroy Selman was a defensive tackle. He played on the defensive line and had a great career with the Oklahoma Sooners. Him and his two other brothers. It was Leroy, Lucius, and Dewey. They all played for Oklahoma at the same time.
Those aren't real names. Those are their real names. Okay. But
But Leroy Selman was first round draft pick of the Tampa Bay Bucks. Fierce defensive player, fierce. So when you think about the lineage between Leroy Selman, Warren Sapp, and Derek Brooks.
There's a picture of Leroy, a couple of them.
Yep. He played in those creamsicle uniforms. He was a bad brother.
Shut your mouth, D-Dub.
Bad brother. That's right. He was bad. The way that and again, the origins of the Tampa Bay Bucks, they played their first season in the AFC West. It was strange the way these two teams, the Seattle Seahawks and Tampa Bay, came into the league, because
the Seattle Seahawks are us now. Right?
Yes, I know.
Us.
Yeah, they are. We said that last week. Yep. But they came into the league first. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers were in the AFC, and Seattle was in the NFC, and then they flipped them the following season and ended up putting Tampa Bay in the NFC North, which I thought was the most stupidest decision. But they developed a rivalry with all of those teams, and it gave those 4 teams in the North a break to get some Florida sunshine, which I know their fan base and the Miami and the Tampa Chamber of Commerce appreciated all that money coming in from up north for people to get vacations and watch their teams play in Tampa. So it worked out economically, but it just didn't make sense for a team to be playing 4 teams that are so far geographically from each other. But that being said,
Warren Sapp also played there too.
Yeah,
for the U.
Yeah, Warren Sapp.
You know, Dexter Jackson won Super Bowl MVP.
And one of my favorite players, Derek Brooks.
Yep, Derek Brooks.
He played there for Tampa Bay.
Yep, won a Super Bowl there.
Yep. I'm trying to remember the running back now that played with Rorik Dunn.
Mike Allstott.
Mike Allstott.
Yep, we just
now. You had that team; they could always run the ball. Always run the ball with that combination, because Rorik Dunn was like.
And here's the thing: Tony Dungy, it's not Tony Dungy. John Gruden put that Super Bowl team together, right? Or was it Tony Dungy?
Tony Dungy put it together.
Yeah,
John Gruden took it over the top.
Yep.
Took it over the top.
But Tony Dungy has always been a great judge of talent. Like, he's always had that in his arsenal, that he understood what talent was. And, yeah, man, that Tampa Bay team has a great history.
Oh yeah. I mean, people sleep on the fact that, they've only won 2 Super Bowls, but they've had a good history, and it's full of both chock full of nuts and chock full of cherries.
Estefan says, don't forget Martin Gramatica.
Yeah, Martin Gramatica.
Yep.
I think, wasn't he one of the kickers that hurt himself in celebrating?
Yep. I want to say his brother might have even kicked for us, if I'm correct.
I'm trying to remember.
There was a Gramatica who kicked for us very briefly. It might have actually only been during a preseason, but I want to say that he was here. Rondé Barber, Estefan says.
Oh, yeah.
Simeon Rice.
Yeah. They're, like I said, their history is full of great players. It's on defense and offense.
In the 1970s to the early 1990s, Dolphins games in Tampa were like a 9th home game. The sombrero was sold out, and a majority of the fans were rocking Dolphins gear. X said.
Oh yeah. When you think about it, when the Tampa Bay Bucks came into the league, the Dolphins owned all of Florida for about 15 years, from 1966 until they came.
I just thought about that real quick. So the Dolphins were the only team in the state of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
They were it. If you lived in Florida, you were a Dolphins fan. Maybe an Atlanta fan or a New Orleans fan.
Or Dallas.
Or Dallas because of how popularity.
And the Redskins too.
But for the most part, you were a Dolphins fan.
Yep.
And then you have in the early 70s, right? Tampa Bay comes into the league.
I think it was 76, 75 or 76. 76.
So they come into the league, and so we don't necessarily lose a fan base right away. But over the years, we start to lose the fan base. And then in the mid-90s, Jacksonville comes into play, and we don't start losing a fan base, but eventually Jacksonville people that were Dolphin fans become Jaguar fans. I don't know if there's ever been an NFL team to lose a fan base, like territory-wise, the way the Dolphins have. Would you agree with that? Am I forgetting anywhere?
Close to that would be what's going on in Texas right now with the Cowboys and the Texans. And see the Cowboys.
I don't feel bad for Dallas though.
Yeah, but the Cowboys. See, there were two teams in Texas before the Cowboys, and actually, Kansas City Chiefs are the original Dallas Texans that used to play in Texas. Yes, look it up.
Boy, D-Dub just full of knowledge.
So that's why Kansas City and the Cowboys, they used to have a heated rivalry as well because they played in different leagues. The team went from Dallas Texans to Kansas City Chiefs. So they have that history. And when they did play, when they were in the NFL, eventually, they had a rivalry.
Crazy.
Yeah. But that's the closest thing to what's going on in Miami is probably.
And then you got to think
Dallas, and then you got New York as well. They share three teams there.
Yeah, but you got to look at it like this. Jacksonville's been to the AFC Championship game in the last 20 years, right? Twice, I think, actually, or 30 years anyway. And then you go look at
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay just won a Super Bowl.
And they went to the AFC Championship game against the Eagles.
So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Jacksonville Jaguars have been more successful than the Miami Dolphins in the last 30 years. Just think about that for a minute from a perspective. That's sad.
I've had to marinate with that thought in my brain since I've been a Dolphin fan. And that's why years like this are so bitter because you know what the fan base would be like with success. And to see it turn the way it has so far, it continues to frustrate you. But you have to stay the course with respect to your fandom, with respect to the fandom. Now, we would like the organization to make some changes, but
love us back a little bit. Hey, Steve, just love us back a little bit. We just want y'all to love us back a little bit. Well, we don't need much. Just show us you care about us. That's all we want.
I want to need some AFC Championship games. I want and need some Super Bowl participation. Yep. I want and need some divisional championships. I still got a jacket from 2008 AFC East Division champions. I want at least 4 or 5 of those in a row. So that way I can have different colors, different styles.
What's my favorite saying, D-Dub? From your mouth to God's ears. Let that
be. Yeah, bro. That's what I would like to see happen. And even though I would enjoy it immensely, it's for the younger fans as well. To confirm their faith that, hey, this is not the same old Dolphins over and over again. Wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. Give them some success. Give them something to pump their chest out. Because I can pump my chest out because I've been there through the glory years. But I want those younger fans. That 14-year-old kid who's just getting turned on. I want him to feel good. Feel proud about being a Dolphin fan.
Hey, D-Dub, you ready for this, D-Dub?
I'm ready.
Ready for this. I don't think anybody's going to be ready for this. The last time the Miami Dolphins beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was in November of 2009, and that's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is the last time we beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the regular season, Pat White played a snap for us.
Mm-hmm.
Chad Henne was our quarterback that day. He went 17 of 31 for 175 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Josh Freeman, also a former Miami Dolphin quarterback, went 16 of 28 with 1 touchdown and 1 interception. And Pat White had 1 attempt for nothing.
Now,
but he took a snap at quarterback.
Now, just to tell you what was so sad about that out of all those 3 quarterbacks, we didn't have the best quarterback as far as potential and results on the field that day.
Well, that was those were the Wildcat days because Ricky and Ronnie were there. Ricky had 20 attempts for 102 yards. Ronnie had 12 attempts for 82, but he also had a touchdown.
Yeah.
Lusaka Polite was there.
That was I liked him.
Mr. First Down himself.
I liked him.
Give me anything 3rd and 3 or less.
Yeah.
I'm giving the ball to Lusaka Polite every day, all day. Pat White and Ted Ginn Jr. had one rushing attempt. Receiving for the Miami Dolphins that day was Devon Bess, Joey Hanos, Corey Sperry. Oh, I hope my wife is listening. I have a Corey Sperry jersey. Hold up. Go ahead and talk for a second. I'm about to go get my Corey Sperry jersey so I can show y'all. Go ahead.
All right. Now, first of all, people, make sure you need to do what Steven always wants you to do. Hit that like button and share the channel. Share the channel. Tell people about this channel. Positivity with respect to Dolphin talk. That's what we all want to see happen. Okay. Now, you have Tampa Bay Buccaneers with respect to playing this game this Sunday. Man, I have a ticket to the game. I'm still thinking about whether or not I should go just because of what's going on in the world. But support the team. Support the team. Support the channel even more so. Wow, you pulled it out. You pulled it out.
So my wife, no lie. So she bought this jersey for me. Didn't know. She's like, oh, it's a player on the team. So I get the jersey and I have no idea who Corey Sperry is. All right. But to this day, this is still one of my favorite jerseys. I love this jersey.
Because it was given to you with love.
Man, like for real. Corey Sperry. Holy cow, Corey Sperry. Oh, man, I love it. Yeah, so let's see here. Corey Sperry. Let me go back to the screen. All right, Corey Sperry, Ronnie Brown, Ricky Williams, Greg Camarillo. Mr. should never have to buy a drink in the state of.
Oh yeah.
Let
me tell you a quick story about Greg Camarillo. When that season occurred, I was overseas, so they put the game on as like an afterthought on AFN Network, Armed Forces Network. Mm-hmm. I'm in the chow hall and I am jumping up for joy, doing all sorts of noise and everything. And people are looking at me like, what's wrong with Son Wood? What's wrong with him? I was so excited that we weren't taking that O.
We were going 0-16.
We weren't taking the O. That's all I was thinking. I don't want to take the O.
So real talk. So I live in Baltimore, as you know. And that game, everybody in Baltimore was like, oh, Brian Billick, we don't know about him. And I'm like, I'm telling you all right now, this is what's going to happen. Mark my words. We're going to win. We're going to beat you. We were 0-12 or 0-13 at the time. I said, we're going to win, and Billick's going to get fired this week. I called it. Greg Camarillo, 86-yard or 85 or whatever touchdown to win the game. What happened 2 days later? Billick got fired.
Yeah. He didn't want to stay there anyway, man. After he won that Super Bowl, and he probably him and some of the staff members got the fat cat-itis. He did his thing for 20-some years in coaching. I'd go get a contract with NFL Network that he did. But it's good that you called it.
Because, hey, man, Hey, Trey Burton, Cleo Lemon to Greg Cam in overtime, boy.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Well, people don't give Cleo Lemon enough credit. It's because of Cleo's pass, even though it was a little hitch route, I think, or whatever. But it don't matter. Cleo hit him, and that was the game, right? That was the game.
Yep. We've had a lot. This fan base had to endure a lot of bad quarterback play. A lot of bad quarterback play. That's why everybody wants to see Tua be successful. But if he's not, we need to move on to try to give somebody else an opportunity. That's all that's what this big fault line between the two fan bases are. But I know that's not what this show is about. So let's move back.
Let's go back. So, I mean, that's the last time the Dolphins had won against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which was in Week 10 of the 2009 season. It was the Ricky and Ronnie game. And if you go back before that, the time before that was 1991.
1991
at Joe Robbie Stadium, December 1st. The quarterbacks that day were Vinny Testaverde for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 21 of 39 for 224 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and this guy named Dan Marino. Maybe you heard of him.
I think so. I don't have to. For that name, I don't have to pull out the dust buster and dust the memory banks. Okay,
you don't have to go.
Some of y'all are saying I got dust on my memories, but that one, I don't have to pull out the dust buster.
20 of 32, 307 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Rushing that day for the Miami Dolphins with 25 attempts for 131 yards and 1 touchdown was Mark Higgs.
Number 21, Mark Higgs. Little small guy, big muscular guy, but small in height. Good runner. Again, people, you see 25 attempts. People got to run the ball. You got to run the ball. Everybody who wants to, go with only 10 or 12 carries in a game and throw 50, 60 passes. No, that's not winning football. But Mark Higgs.
All right, real quick.
Very good.
I saw Pete. Pete said next 2 games are in Florida, Florida Bowl and Tampa, then Jags. If we lose both, Ross is gonna flip. By the way, the Jacksonville game is in London. It's not in Florida. It's against the Florida team, but it's in a whole other country. But I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
You see what the point of what you were saying there. The Godfather said Mark Higgs is an awesome guy. A lot of people are in. Flip side says I loved Higgs. Lil Compact Higgs. George A said Higgs was Sammy Smith's replacement.
Yeah.
Fits for life. Yeah. So
I mean,
all right. Let's see. What else do we have here? We got Sammy Smith, Tony Page, Mark Logan rushing that day. Receiving for the Miami Dolphins that day. 1, Mark Duper, Tony Martin, Jim Jensen's, Farrell Edmonds, Mark Clayton, and Sammy Smith. So the Marks brothers were still intact.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? And to give it to some of to bring the conversation to some of the older heads, how many of you really still appreciate the talent that Jim Jensen brought to this team, old heads? Put it in the comment section if you can show some love and show some memories to Jim Jensen, Crash Jensen, number 11 for the Miami Dolphins. Okay. He was emergency quarterback, played special teams, did some things as a wide receiver, did some things as an H-back sometimes, did some things as a tight end as well. I mean, the guy could play multiple positions.
That day, our kicker was one Pete Stoyanovich.
Pete Stoyanovich. Yes, perfect Pete. Dolphins have had some very good kickers.
I will say the Dolphins are one of the best franchises for kickers. You go back to Gary Yepremian, Pete Stoyanovich,
Uwe von Schaman,
Alindo Mare.
Now you got Sanders. The only thing I'll say about Uwe von Schaman, I wish he hadn't have missed those field goals against the Chargers in that playoff game. He had 2 opportunities to kick game-winning field goals in that game and missed them. That's the only thing I'll say negative about him.
The longest game in NFL history?
No, that wasn't the longest game. It was long, but it wasn't the longest. The longest game is Kansas City against Miami, playoff game, Christmas Day, 1971.
And the longest time game in NFL history, is week 1, Tennessee.
Against the Miami, that 5-hour rain-filled, thunderstorm, muddy game. Yes, I do remember that as well.
If you ask my wife, that was her very first game in Miami.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, so I told her, this is how I sold her on it, right? My wife doesn't do heat like that. I said, honey, look, it's a 1 o'clock game. It's going to be over by 4. And after we finish, we can go to the beach and we can relax. Let's just say that didn't happen. Let's just say that didn't happen. And about halfway through the game, time-wise, not even halfway, after, like, in the middle of the first delay, I saw a look from my wife that I don't ever want to see again. It was, see, you jinky little bastard. You already, and I'll put money in my own swear jar. I'm just saying, it was to this day. And then when the second lightning delay happened, boy, I don't never want to see that face from my wife ever again.
So you were married at that point. You were married at that time, right?
We were married at that time.
Okay, yeah. So it wasn't grounds for divorce, but you probably were sleeping on the sofa that night.
Hey man, look, it was not a good thing. And it's funny because as we're leaving the stadium, I'm like, oh my God, that was such a great game. That was totally awesome. My wife did not have the same feelings that I had about that game. I thought it was great.
You were trying to gaslight her. She wanted to light you up with gas.
Now I will say, shout out to my man JD, because he about I guess after in the middle of the first delay, we ended up getting into the suite. So we ended up watching the whole second half, and we were in the entire press or in the suite for the second delay in the suite. But yeah, to this day, let me just say, we are not allowed to go. She doesn't want to go. She's that what is there PTSD? There's PTSD from that game for her.
Yeah, and to answer Anthony Manzano, I would consider Jim Jensen a slot, more like a Wes Welker. Maybe not as fast as Julian Edelman. He could do some outs and ins, but he's not somebody that's going to take it down the seam. And he's definitely wasn't a boundary wide receiver, but he was effective at what he was asked to do. Shula asked him to do things that were within his limitations. And that's the great thing about a coach like that. He knows his players. He knew what their limitations were, and he asked them to do everything to the limit of those limitations.
All right, and then let me just, for the sake of the conversation, let's do one. There's no box score for 1976, which was 23-20 Dolphins over Buccaneers. But let's go to the earliest game that there's a box score for that was a win for the Dolphins, and it was the highest scoring game between the two teams, actually. 1985. That was a pretty good Dolphins team in 85.
I was in Korea that year.
It was October 20th, 1985, Tampa Bay at Miami. The Dolphins won 41-38. Always have had some tight games against this franchise then. Mm-hmm. Out of the 11 games, I feel like a lot of these games are like 4 points or less.
Well, and those are good for the fans because they're battles. And you gotta think it like this too. The players, they know, they may not come out and say it, but they feel a rivalry just because of the geographic. They see when they go home and they go to their houses and they're shopping and whatnot, they see how the fans react to the colors, whether that's pewter or the Miami Orange. They know. So they want to win that game.
Shout out to Priscilla. Converted her from a Cowboys fan to a Dolphins fan, fella.
Oh, man. Fantastic.
Way to go, Gene.
Fantastic, Gene Carlos Rosario. You did it without having to change your HMO. That's great. That is great, man. Because, they do have HMOs for that disease of being a Cowgirl fan. But sometimes it's expensive to change your HMO from one to another. But you did it without having to do that. That is fantastic, man.
That dang game against the Titans a couple years ago, and they kept getting delays, was like 6 hours. Me and my daughter was there, but we got to almost get to the field because everybody had left. Dude, that place was empty by the end of the second delay. Because a lot of people were like, I'm not staying for this, and I wasn't leaving. I wasn't leaving that. No way. No, sir. I wasn't doing that. That was my first year at that time when I'm not a season ticket holder anymore. But that was my first year of being a season ticket holder that year. All right, real quick, let's go to this game. All right, so the quarterbacks that day in 1985 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were Steve DeBerg, 19 for 32, 365 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Why does Steve DeBerg sound so familiar? Was he our quarterback for a while?
He was a quarterback for the Dolphins during the year that Marino got hurt. He was the third string. Scott Mitchell took over for Marino. At 9-2, Scott Mitchell got hurt. Steve DeBerg came in. Well, 8-2. He won a game, 9-2, and then they lost the last 5 to miss the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm like, that name sounds very familiar.
Yeah, right. Steve DeBerg. He quarterbacked and protéged for some of the greatest names in NFL history. He protéged for John Elway. He protéged for Dan Marino. I mean, he was like Ryan Fitzpatrick maybe I'm using the wrong word, protégé. Mentor is a better word. Mentor for all these young quarterbacks that came into the league. He had some success with the Kansas City Chiefs. He started for them for a couple of years. That was I
think he was the quarterback there before Montana.
Yes.
I'm correct.
Yes.
All right. So Dan Marino that day went 27 of 39 for 302 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception.
Dan the man.
Rushing that day for the Miami Dolphins, Lorenzo Hampton, 13 attempts for 78 yards. Tony Nathan, 12 attempts for 62 yards. And
Put some respect on that name.
Tony Nathan.
Put some respect on that name.
Tony
Put some respect on that name. Yes, Alabama running back, but put some respect on that name.
Tony Nathan.
Dolphin fans do not appreciate him. He's like Chris Chambers, another guy who lasted a long time, had some very productive years, but doesn't get the respect. Was good running back, better pass receiving running back, but he was a good runner. He wasn't a Mercury Morris. He wasn't a Ricky Williams. He wasn't a Ronnie Brown, but he could do both sides of the equation. Pass receive, pretty good blocker back as well. So put some respect on Tony.
Put some respect on that man's name.
Spec him.
Ron Davenport, 4 yards for 6, 4 attempts for 6 yards and a touchdown. And then Dan Marino had 2 attempts for -2 yards. The fleet-footed guy he was. Receiving for the Miami Dolphins that day, Tony Nathan. Is that good? Did I do good there?
There you go.
8 receptions for 80 yards. Mark Clayton, 5 receptions for 50. Nat Moore, 5 receptions for 49. Bruce Hardy, 3 for 21. Lorenzo Hampton, Joe Rose. Maybe you guys heard that name before. 2 receptions for 66 yards. Durrell Harris and Jim Jensen.
Durrell Harris. So you mentioned 2 names, Durrell Harris and Nat Moore. Nat Moore, one of the players that great Miami wide receiver. He wasn't part of the Super Bowl years, but he was a transition from Greasy to Marino and Woodley. He went through all of those quarterbacks. Okay, so put some respect on his name as well. And he does an outstanding job in the front office for the Miami Dolphins. Okay, so his impact on this franchise has been long lasting.
George A says Tony Nathan should totally be in the Ring of Honor for the Dolphins. From
your lips to God's ears, George.
George A says 1 yard Davenport. I don't know if that was a nickname for Davenport.
It wasn't a nickname, but he was a good short yardage back as well.
Are Tony Davenport and former Hurricanes running back Najee Davenport related? Very good question.
I don't know.
Let me see.
I don't know.
Tony
and George, while Steven is looking up, yes, Durrell Harris was a solid playmaker. He was during those the Woodstock years. Him and Nat Moore played a lot together. Again, very good wide receiver, and that was during a time when you basically had two wide receivers on the field. You didn't have it spread out the way it was. It was just before the onslaught of where you had the three wide receiver sets that the Miami Dolphins and the St. Louis Cardinals and the San Diego Chargers under Don Coryell, they would basically initiate three and four wide receiver sets. And that's why one of the reasons why Dan Marino was so successful as well, because he had faster options on the field.
Hey, guys, if you haven't done so already, real quick, hit the like button.
Hit that like button. Blah!
If you guys want to sign up and become a member of the channel, I want to see y'all become a member of the channel. Vince for Life, sign up and become a member of the channel. George A, sign up. Gene, sign up. Let's go. Let's see here. Who else? Pete, Anthony, X. Y'all sign up. Become a member of the family. Become part of the family. Hey, I got to do it. Family. That's my Fast and Furious.
That's your moniker.
My Vin Diesel. That's my Vin Diesel. Family. Although I sounded like a little like Al Pacino. Family. Family. All right, family.
Don't ever go against the family. Don't you ever let anybody outside the family know what you're thinking. Okay?
Who are you to tell me? Okay, yeah, all right, that's enough. Enough Al Pacino for the day. Yeah, so let's see here. Punting that day, Reggie Roby for the Dolphins. Kicking that day. All right, I don't know how to say this name, D-Dub. Fuad Revelez? Revelez?
Put it up on the screen and I'll tell you how to pronounce it. Fuad Revez, it still looks like, but let me see. Move it over a little bit.
All right, I don't think I can, but I can do this. So here we go. Can you see that?
Under kicking?
Yep.
I think it's Fuad Revez.
Fuad, yeah, there it goes. Fuad Revez.
Yeah, Fuad Revez.
Kicked for the Dolphins from 1985 to 1988.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he didn't have to make any big kicks because of the situation, but he was pretty good. He wasn't as good as he wasn't as good as a Lindo Mare or Pete Stoyanovich, but he was pretty good.
All right. I mean, and then look, that's kind of the history between the two teams.
Hey, flip side, I appreciate that. I appreciate that comment.
D-Dub sounds like my dad and I talking about the Dolphins. We could talk all day reminiscing about our fans. That's why I wanted D-Dub on Throwback Thursdays, man.
I mean, when you think about just the kickers, like we were talking about before, Uwe von Schaman, Pete Stoyanovich, Olindo Mare, great kickers. But, unfortunately, we didn't, as a team, they never got to make that pressure kick to win a Super Bowl. That's what I would have liked to see one of them do. They were very good kickers. And, they never got an opportunity to kick a 63 or 64-yard field goal on a consistent basis or like one or twice a year for a season. But they were pretty doggone good. And Shula, he was not going to go for anybody missing field goals. He just wasn't. I mean, when you put forth all that effort and then you have your kicker miss 25, 30-yard field goals. And during this time when the goalpost, because early in this, you got to remember the goalpost was at the goal line. So you got close and you missed a field goal. It was, like nail time.
Hey, D-Dub, how many people got like severely injured in that goalpost being there?
I've seen players get knocked out, running into, and I've seen wide receivers use it as a pick to get free. A lot of defensive backs and linebackers did not like the goalpost back at that point in time.
When did that get changed? In the 70s or 80s?
That got changed in the 70s.
70s.
It got changed in the 70s. During and I can tell you this, the 73 Super Bowl that the Dolphins won against the Vikings, it was still there. So I believe it got changed in 75.
Boy, D-Dub just full of knowledge, boy. Just full of knowledge.
It went back to the end of the end zone. And, at that point in time, when you had a drive and it ended on the 3-yard line or the 2-yard line, and you miss a 17-yard field goal, the field goal is right there. Come on, guys. Don Shula was not going to accept a kicker missing a field goal like that. So you had to make sure that you were on point as a field goal kicker, okay, to be on the Dolphins.
Couldn't have. Every time I hear kicker, though, all I could think of is the movie with Eddie Murphy.
I know Lou Finkel, or what was the guy from
Ray Finkel? Ray Finkel's from Pet Detective.
Yeah, Pet Detective. But what were you saying about Eddie Murphy?
Finkel and Einhorn. Einhorn and Finkel. Finkel and Einhorn. Einhorn's a man. There's no way that movie would survive in today's society. But it's still such an amazing.
What was funny, you see all the guys going to their mouth.
All I can picture is who played his best friend? The rapper.
Tone Loc.
Tone Loc just spitting out, going like this.
Yep.
The laces, and then at the end, the laces were in. They ran it. And you see Dan Marino like this. You know what? That's what we need to do. We need to have a movie night where we watch that together, like where we do a watch party for that movie.
That's fine. But it's probably not going to go over well on a Friday or a Saturday night. That's for doggone sure.
We might have to do that on like a Tuesday night where we have a watch party for that movie.
Maybe not the whole entire movie, but just some segments, and then use it for conversations after the segments.
They were in. What's your point, Ventura? Only this. That's double pane soundproof glass. The noise you heard came from inside the apartment.
Hey, I see one of the comments from Mr. Manzano again, because he brings up a name that I know is lost in NFL folklore. But Don Coryell, he was an offensive genius. Now, is it comparable to Andy Reid's offense? I would say no in this respect, because Don Coryell's offenses always had primary running backs that not only ran the ball, but they caught the ball. If you think back to Terry Metcalf with the St. Louis Cardinals, yes, the St. Louis Cardinals, not the St. Louis Rams, but the St. Louis Cardinals, Terry Metcalf, and then with Chuck Muncie in San Diego, That's why that would be my one difference between Andy Reid's offense and Don Coryell's offense.
And the killer closed the door before he left.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna set that up. Don't even worry about that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make
That's a good idea.
I'm gonna make that happen. That's gonna be good. All right. So what I was saying is, oh man, I was talking. The quote. Anytime I hear like kicker in football, all I can think of is Eddie Murphy from McDowell's. Why can't I think of the name? It's Coming to America.
Yeah.
Where he's like, did you happen to catch the professional football contest last night? It was most exhilarating. The Giants of New York took on the Packers of Green Bay. And in the end, it was won by kicking an outlong pigskin through a big H. It was most exhilarating. Kid, lay off the drugs. What's funny about that is that happened like 35, 40 years later, something like that. The Packers and Giants, and that when the Packers went to the Super Bowl.
That exact result basically happened.
Exact result happened.
Yep.
And the next day on social media and on ESPN, that's all they were playing was that clip.
Oh yeah, it's some great. Well, first of all, from football aspect, it's a funny line because to hear somebody describe football in that manner, you're like, what are you on? Some dope or some dog food?
He said the outlong pigskin through a big
Yes. Yes.
It was most exhilarating.
Yes.
All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the lines for y'all to come in on this Throwback Thursday. Y'all can hang out with D-Dub if you have a question for D-Dub and I, or you just want to talk about movie lines, or you just want to talk about the Bucs. But, tomorrow we talk about the game. So let's try to just keep it on the history of the Bucs or the history of the Dolphins or movies. I don't care. And we could talk about Sunday's problems tomorrow. Okay. All right, let me bring in Ennis. Ennis, what's up, man?
Yo.
What's
Ennis,
up, Ennis?
did you text me, Ennis?
Yeah, I text you back, said, yeah, it was me.
Oh, man, I didn't even get that other text back, bro. Did you get with Chef Zhu on Twitter? And okay. Chef Zhu's going to help you out.
Yeah. What are we talking about this morning?
Well, we talking about the throwback Throwback Thursday. We talking about all time versus the Bucs. We got movie lines going, but we're not talking about the game on Sunday. We're not talking about the team right now. It's Throwback Thursday.
Throwback. I'm gonna go throwback to last year. Can I do that?
Sure.
What game?
Because I wanted to give a rant, just a 10-second rant. Because I'm saying the narrative about Tua is a dink and dunk, like Brissett. If you don't like him, just say that. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm tired of.
See, first person getting on talking about Tua. First person to get on. Ennis, I love you, man. But come on,
no, because
Tua.
I'm a ride for him. Because I'm a realist. Like, I understand. I grew up watching that, so I understand we struggled for years. But I'm not gonna go hard on him, and everything is not perfect. You know what I'm saying? He made mistakes, but I'm not going. He's our quarterback, so if Brissett was number one, I'll rock with him, even though his flaws. But this is my thing, y'all. He said he dinked it up, but forget the play when he aired it from the 2-yard line to Grant. That ball went 50 yards in the air. So it kills me how people forget them plays. But go on Twitter, that video of Grant, they got him going bye-bye, all the passes that Tua threw, it was over at least 20, 30 yards each pass that he dropped, that he threw. So cut the dink and dunk, trying to compare him to Mac Jones. He's his own man. Let's judge these quarterbacks individually. Stop judging them on, we should have picked Justin Herbert. Y'all act like that roster over there was trash when he got there, and he elevated it. Tyrod Taylor was the starter until he got punked in the rib.
Boy, don't get me started on that, because I have conspiracy theories about that all day long.
All right, I understand. Yeah, I'm just saying, but people act like he just beat him out, though. Maybe Anthony Lynn did decide wrong, but on Twitter, they got it like we the only team that made a mistake. He didn't get picked right after Tua. It was hella teams that missed on him. So,
Chef Zhu, you need to change your Twitter name, man. You need to get like a cool Twitter name like like Finn Chef Jew or Dolphin Jew Finn or Chef Finn Jew, something like that.
And I think we caught up. They caught up in.
I got you. All right, let me bring on Tony. Tony, what's up, Tony?
My throwback Thursday is when we had the game against the Jets with Chad Pennington, where he threw for 300 yards. Do you guys remember that? The 300-yard game with Pennington?
Yep.
Are you talking about Chad Pennington with the Dolphins or Chad Pennington with the Jets?
Chad Pennington with the Dolphins.
Okay, well, that's what I say, because he played for both teams. I'm trying to figure out which game he was talking about.
Yeah, he did.
The Dolphins, when he played for the Dolphins, when he played.
Okay, so I remember Chad Pennington. I remember that game, and one of the best Dolphin fan moments in my life was being at the Meadowlands, and this was before the Meadowlands takeover. You know, it was just starting though. 2008, I went to the game with my son and saw that game in the Meadowlands. The Dolphins come out of Meadowlands with an AFC East division title, stopping Favre and stopping the Jets from getting into the playoffs, and at the same time stopping the Patriots from getting to the playoffs. What a beautiful day. What a beautiful day it was.
That game happened during the World Cup. And I remember that because the Dolphins were playing the Jets. I was in New York, and I didn't go to the game. I was at my cousin's house in the basement, and there's about 15 people there, and every single one of them are Jet fans except for me. Every single one of them. So it was a beautiful day watching Chad Pennington.
Guess what? You walked out there like you just finished walking out the door.
I was like, Brett Favre, who? Whose man is this? Is this your king? Is this your leader? Boy, I was doing all the movie quotes.
Yep. For one day, Philip Merlin was the best defensive player on earth.
And I have a question: was Ricky?
Jason Taylor?
Was Ricky on that team? Or
No, I'm saying the guy who got the hold on, Tommy. The guy who ran the interception back for a touchdown, Philip Merlin. He was for one day. He was the best. He was the best defensive player on earth in my eyes. Go ahead, Tony. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what I was wondering, I'm not sure. Was Ricky on that team or was he gone by then?
Let me think.
I don't know. I don't remember.
No, Ricky wasn't on that team. I don't think he was on that team. 2008, 2009. I don't. No, wait a minute. I'm trying to take the dust off. I know Brown was on the team. I think they were. I think they both were on that team. They were on that team.
Philip Merlin. All right, hey, real quick. I'm gonna put Tony. I'm getting a lot of feedback in your background. I'm just gonna put you on mute, bud. What I am gonna do is, so I didn't talk about the very last game in detail, which was November of 2017. We lost, right? And look who was the quarterback that day for Tampa Bay. Ryan Fitzpatrick, who was the quarterback. 22 of 37, 275 yards, 2 touchdowns. Our quarterbacks that day were Matt Moore and Jay Cutler. Oh, the wonderful Jay Cutler.
Captain Cuddy.
17 of 28 for 282 yards and a touchdown for Matt Moore. And Jay Cutler that day was 6 for 12 for 83 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 interceptions.
I think that was what he was knocked out of that game.
I wish he would have been knocked out earlier.
That was the worst free agent signing in history.
Boy, that was a scam free agent signing, boy. That was Adam Gase wanting his best friend to come hang out with him. Damian Williams and Kenyon Drake were the running backs that day for the Dolphins. Damian Williams is so, like, I'm happy he won a Super Bowl, but like he was never utilized properly here. 10 attempts for 78 yards and a touchdown. Kenyon Drake had 7 attempts for 4 yards. And then the receiving that day was Kenny Stills for 7 receptions for 180 receiving yards and a touchdown. Jarvis Landry had 6 receptions for 95 yards and a touchdown. Devontae Parker. That must have been Devontae's Was that his rookie year? No. Devontae, 4 receptions for 26 yards. Julius Thomas, Kenyon Drake, Damian Williams, Marquise Gray. Shout out to Marquise Gray. Marquise is a really good guy. And then our kicker that day was Cody Parkey. Is Cody Mr. Doink? Is he double doink?
Yeah.
Cody Parkey's double doink.
Yep. That's the Detroit. I mean, not the Detroit. Chicago kicker. Yeah. See, and that's what I'm going to tell you. Dolphins, they had great history with kickers, but if you don't last, you get moved on very quickly. Very
quickly.
Okay.
All right, let me bring on Al. What's up, Al?
Good morning. How are you?
Pretty good on this Throwback
What's up,
Thursday.
Al? So somebody I finally can feel good about that's the same age or same genre as me right now.
Y'all are so old.
We are seasoned by life's experiences.
No, y'all are seasoned.
You got that right. We've had it. We've had it all, the tops and the bottoms. If you understand
whoa, tops. Al, you gotta watch what you're saying there, man. You've been through all the positives and all the negatives, all the highs and all the lows, tops and bottoms. That could be a totally different thing, Al. That could be,
but that depends on where your mind is.
All right, real quick, man. Tell me about I know we've only played them 11 times during the regular season, which that was the other thing I wanted to say was we played a lot of preseason games against them. I feel like we play them every year in the preseason.
They're in the same state. That's like New York Jets against New York Giants every year.
Yeah.
They do that to cut the costs down.
That's correct.
Yeah. Mikey says, Parkey was a good kicker for us. He priced himself out of Miami. I'm very perfectly fine and happy with Jason Sanders. Although I would like for when the Jason Sanders in field goal range that the Dolphins actually kick it. But I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there because we're not talking about the season this year. We're talking about Throwback Thursday.
This day.
Yeah. We're not talking about – yeah, exactly. Al, is there any players from Tampa Bay that stick out in your mind from the past? Not necessarily against us, but just, in general. The stock market open. Vinny Testaverde. Yep. Vinny Testaverde. They've actually had some pretty good quarterbacks in their past, and they've actually, Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl with them.
There's another one that won a Super Bowl.
I'm not saying Brad Johnson is a good quarterback. I'm just saying he won a Super Bowl.
He's on ESPN.
Well, look, man. Hey, some people get lucky, man. Some people. You know what really makes me mad is that Brad Johnson has a Super Bowl and Dan Marino doesn't. Like, that pisses me off.
Hey, that happens, man. That's football life. Football life. I mean, think about Fran Tarkenton. Fran Tarkenton doesn't have a Super Bowl.
We both came up with that at the same time.
Jim Kelly doesn't have a Super Bowl. And just so I can go back.
Although we
Pamela, just because I'm seasoned by life for you get to be forever 29 in your mind. You're forever 29, Pamela.
Just so y'all know, D-Dub and Al are straight like the old guys. Like they're like on the porch with canes and walkers.
Oh, I ain't that bad now.
With their pipes. Where they got their pipes in their hands. Back in my days,
what's going on in my life right now?
Al, I'm just messing around, Al.
I'm just saying. Do you know what's going on with my life right now?
No.
The reason why I have so much time on my hands is because I'm battling a disease called diabetes.
Oh, man, It sucks. Yeah.
And it's got to the point where it's crippled me on my left leg. To where I had to have a surgery in June to have 6 pins put in my leg.
Oof.
And I've been dealing with this since March. And I was told this week by my doctor that basically I'm looking till the next March before I might be able to go back to work, if at all. And that I'm risk of being able to walk for the rest of my life.
I'm gonna pray for you, man. Seriously, like, I first of all, just so you know, I was just messing around. Nothing but jokes here.
Well, no, I'm just telling you that, I never thought in my whole life. I mean, I knew that diabetes would get me one way, but I didn't ever expect it to get me this way.
Diabetes ain't no joke, man. It ain't no joke.
I mean, it ate my bones up in my ankle.
Yeah, man. But look, man. Go ahead, D-Dub.
The things that you overcome in life and things that slow you down in life, in some aspects, you still have to enjoy life. And Al,
trust me,
the fact that you are still here, you are voicing your opinions and giving out your knowledge to everybody. That's something that we all love.
Fans.
Yep.
That's all I'm trying to do.
Yep.
All right, let me bring on Big John. Big John, what's up, Big John?
What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing?
How are you doing, Big John?
I'm there. Not as big as I
Big John. I'm Big John.
Not as big as I once was, but I'm there.
All right, well, Big John, what we're not going to do today, there will be no Tua talk today. There'll be no.
I wasn't going to talk about Tua.
I'm just prefacing it. It's Throwback Thursday. So
I was gonna say that it's funny you mentioned how we never used Damian Williams the right way. We still do the same thing with every other player.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're
Well,
not wrong.
I will say it this way. Okay, and it came up in some comments yesterday, but I'm going to just use a generic term. Players are asked to do certain things for one team, and then they can be put into a totally another situation on another team and be asked to do other things. So don't hate that a player is being successful at another place, or don't continue to root against a player if they go to another place. They're asked to do different things with the talents they have. So whether somebody moves on from Miami and goes someplace else and balls out, or if they go someplace else and don't do well, or they come to Miami and ball out and then go on to someplace else and don't do well, sometimes it's all about what they're asked to do in the schemes that they're put in.
Of course, coaching.
But you know what you can't teach, D-Dub? Hot hands. I'm just saying, Jakeem Grant. You can't teach catching. You should just know. You should know it. You should know. I went there. I went there.
So maybe okay, you went there. So maybe what Chicago does is put him in situations where he's getting the little pitch passes and he takes those routes and runs 80 yards. Okay. So you alleviate the hot hand.
I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it.
So
until that time,
don't hate on the guy if he does have success.
I won't hate him if he has success. I won't. Hey, you will never see any hate from Steve. Okay, that's all I'm saying. You ain't gonna see it from me. But what I will say is I'm not gonna believe that till I see it, and I don't see it happening.
I don't even know. Did you end up looking at the video I sent you, Steven?
Honestly, no, man. It's been crazy.
Dude, I sent you guys a video, sent him a video of Jakeem Grant, and Jakeem Grant's highlight video was 6 plays.
Yes, I did see that. I did see that.
4 minutes and 20 seconds of his career. That was amazing.
Yep. It was the hype video that Chicago had for him.
Yeah. I mean, D-Dub, I totally agree with you. The problem is, I've said it before and I'll say it again. It goes back to coaching. I understand that when they leave here, they're successful. I could name probably 10 Dolphins that when they were here, they sucked. And they left here, including Wes Welker, who we gave up for a bag of chips, and they end up being Hall of Famers.
No, dog. Chips are too good. We gave New England gave us a bag of deflated balls. That's exactly what happened.
Wow.
That whole situation with Wes Welker, the Dolphins were pretty much forced to go into that trade because if
For
the
what?
yes, because the he was a restricted free agent. He signed a contract with New England where if he played games in the state of Florida, hold on. If he signed games in the state of Florida, he would get paid a certain amount of money. So now, New England, they figure he's only going to play 2 games in Miami, in Florida. But if he stays and signs that same contract, and Miami agrees to agree to that contract, he would be paying 8 games in Miami. That contract would have been too expensive for the Dolphins to re-sign. So that's why they traded him. So this story that the Dolphins let Wes Welker go for a bag of balls,
deflated
balls. It's false. You got to say the whole narrative, Steve.
Well, why would you trade him to your own division?
Yes.
You didn't trade him. He was a restricted free agent, which meant he had the right to go.
Bro,
he had to, he was a restricted free agent. So the Dolphins had a right of first refusal. So
that changes the whole thing.
Yes.
If he's a restricted free
saying
agent,
he signed the contract already, and then we decided to
on
trade
March 1st, 2007, the Miami Dolphins offered Wes Welker, a restricted free agent, a second-round tender of $1.3 million for a 1-year contract. News reports indicate the Patriots, who were also interested in Welker, had originally considered signing him to an offer sheet. Miami then would have 7 days to match that offer, which they would have done. The sheet would have contained a poison pill provision that would have made the offer difficult for the Dolphins to match. Ultimately, however, the Patriots decided not to use such an offer and traded their 2007 second-round draft pick and a 7th-round draft pick for Wes Welker.
Right. So they agreed. They basically said, look, we can do this or we can do it a different way. That's what happened. That's why I say it's not about just a bag of balls. You got to look at the whole thing. The Patriots could have signed him to that offer sheet and they would have forced the Dolphins' hands. Rather than do that, they had a gentleman's agreement and they made the trade.
The Miami Dolphins,
we lost
by the way,
tight end in the same way.
The Miami Dolphins selected with the 60th overall pick in that draft, Samson Satele, center out of Hawaii.
I'll take him now.
I mean, he worked out so well for us. It was such a great trade for the Miami Dolphins. It was, I'm telling you right now, I still think it's one of the top 5 worst trades in NFL history.
Sometimes
Call it what you want,
trades
D-Dub.
that you're forced to make is not a good trade.
Yeah,
especially when it's in your own division.
Yeah,
bro. It was.
I'm just telling you, got to have the context behind the trade. That's all I'm saying.
Let me ask. I need fans to be honest in the chat. Was there anybody in the chat that when the Dolphins traded him said, "Oh, we got a really good trade value for him"? How many people were pissed off that we traded? I was pissed. I was pissed that we traded him. I knew what he could be. I knew that he could be that good.
I was upset as well, but you got to understand the context and what basically, they got an offer that they couldn't refuse.
In hindsight, we would have been better off signing him, but then that would have been like a torpedo to our cap.
Who was our quarterback that year?
Fiedler, probably.
Always the main question, but you don't want to talk about Tua. I love how you go back to quarterback.
It was either Fiedler or it was.
You're not going to bait me. You're not going to bait me. Wes Welker was our kicker too. He had no doubt. He did. Chad Henne was our quarterback. Welker played 5 positions in one game. We didn't know Wes Welker would be who he was. Plus, he had concussion issues. Oh, come on, guys! Like, really?
You always know they're going to find a reason. I'm telling you. I agree with you, Steven.
I was mad. I was mad when we traded him. And did I know that he would become the Hall of Famer that he would become? No, but I knew he would be good.
Wait a minute, Hall of Famer. Wait, back up. He's not a Hall of Famer. He's not a Hall of Famer. He's not a Hall of Famer, Steve. He's not a Hall of Famer, Steven. He's not a Hall of Famer, Steven. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. He's not a Hall of Famer.
He's one
He
of
had
those
good
first
years.
possession receivers.
He had good years.
He had
He's
over
not a Hall of Famer.
9,924 yards receiving, over 900 receptions, over 50 touchdowns. All right, so let's go to Hall of Fame wide receivers.
And you have to look at it in context of what they do now compared to what they did 25, 30 years ago. So just because they got inflated numbers does not mean that you're a Hall of Famer.
Well, the other thing with is you got much more players playing now, and the same amount of Hall of Famers aren't going in there as far as ratio. You still have the same amount going in as years ago when we had less teams and less players playing.
All right, let's take.
He's not better than Cliff Branch. He's not better than Nat Moore. Come on, man.
Nat Moore is better than him, that's for sure.
Okay, let's get some perspective to this. Let's put a little perspective to this.
All right, maybe he's not. All right, maybe he's not. Let me look. I'm looking here. I'm going through some names here. I'm going through some names. James Lofton. James Lofton, 764 receptions, 14,000 yards, so 5,000 more yards, 76 career touchdowns.
Let's put it this way. Okay, is Wes Welker better than John Stallworth?
No.
Okay, is Wes Welker better than
the problem?
Hold on. John Stallworth's numbers, all right, were 537 receptions. Wes Welker had where's his receptions at?
Wasn't it 900? You said 900.
903. So he's got more. He's almost got double the receptions. John Stallworth has 8,723 receiving yards. Wes Welker has 9,924.
Right. So what I'm saying to you is with double the receptions, he doesn't even have the yards that John Stallworth does.
But
with double the receptions.
Type of receivers.
Thank you. Again, yes, I agree with you on that one, Al. You're talking about a slot receiver.
Right, I'm asking a poll question.
And Torrey Holt is another great example. You know, you got players that are way better and have more of an impact. And Wes Welker, in my eyes, is not a Hall of Famer.
I asked
Here's the one problem that D-Dub's not taking into effect. Okay? He is part of so many Super Bowl wins that the New England Patriots have. And
He's
that's
part of what, 2?
No, probably more than 2.
I don't think so.
How many Super Bowls is he part of that the New England won of?
Y'all bring it up. Look it up. Look it up.
He's got the book open. I didn't look it up.
He must have played in about 4, didn't he?
That's what I'm saying. He played at least in 4.
Five-time Pro Bowler. Pro
Bowl don't mean as much. All Pro. That's better.
It's two-time All Pro.
Oh,
how many rings?
Oh, he keeps giving them to you, D-Dub. I don't know, man.
He's not a Hall of Famer. Wes Welker is not a Hall of Famer, bro.
All right, I got a better question, D-Dub. Give me your top 10 or top 5 all-time slot receivers.
He's either got 2 or 3. He's got no Super Bowl rings. Wes Welker doesn't have a Super Bowl ring. I don't believe that.
I'll tell you why. Because didn't they win when he was partnered with not Keyshawn Johnson, the other one?
Yeah. He's got one with
Brady. You're talking about Wayne Trebek.
He's got one with Brady and one with Peyton. He's got 2 Super Bowl rings. He's got 2 Super Bowl rings.
I thought he had more than one with Brady.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
So right now, 23 people voted, and it's 65% say no, 35% say yes. Keep on voting. All the yes people, please keep voting.
What you guys don't understand is he's part of a change in philosophy.
TD says he's not a Hall of Famer.
That's where he becomes part of the thing here. Is because before Brady come on, there was no such thing as playing that short game kind of thing. You know what Super Bowl created that one?
What?
The last Buffalo Giant game.
Giants. The one that the Giants kicked the field goal to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but it was all possession. The Giants had so much possession in that game that Buffalo, no matter how fast or how quick they could score, it didn't matter because the Giants took up the time on the field.
So let me
dink and dunk and running, and that was the whole scheme of how to beat Buffalo.
Anthony asked panel, in terms of Hall of Fame receivers, do you guys think there's a certain guys that got in just because they have Super Bowl championships without having stats? I mean, I'm on the site right now.
Well,
and so
okay.
Wide receivers. Here's the wide receivers that are in the Hall of Fame: Lance Allworth, Raymond Berry, Fred Beltinkoff. I can't say
Fred Belitnikoff. Put some respect on his name.
All right, man. Tim Brown, Isaac Bruce, Harold Carmichael, Chris Carter, Tom Fears, Marvin Harrison, Bob Hayes, Elroy Hirsch, Michael Irving, Calvin Johnson, Charlie Joyner, Steve Largent, Dante Laville, James Lofton, Don Maynard, Tommy McDonald, Bobby Mitchell, Art Monk, Randy Moss, Terrell Owens.
Now stop. You've named all of those wide receivers. Not one of them is a slot receiver. So first and foremost is saying to you right then and there, you can't get into the Hall of Fame right now unless you put up some astronomical numbers as a slot receiver. You're not getting in.
I think for a slot receiver, he did put up astronomical numbers.
Slot receivers take more of a beating than the outside receivers.
Yes, 100%. I'm telling. I look.
They don't put up fancy. They don't put
I'm not done. Drew Pearson, Pete Fios, Andre Reed, my cousin Jerry Rice. Yeah, I said my cousin by marriage. True story. John Stallworth, Lynn Swann, Charlie Taylor, and Paul Warfield.
None of those receivers are slot receivers. So until somebody breaks it, and I'm telling you, Wes Welker is not the one that's going to break it. He's not breaking that glass ceiling. He is not breaking it. Okay, he is not the one.
From Pittsburgh.
Maybe
played all those years.
Maybe Edelman, but Wes Welker is not the one that's going to break that ceiling. I'm sorry.
According to ProFootballReference.com, Wes Welker has a 55.28 Hall of Famer monitor score. The average Hall of Famer wide receiver is 100.
I don't know what Hall of Fame monitor means, so it's hard for me to put that in perspective. But besides the numbers, 55 and 100, but okay, thank you.
He won't make it because of the fact that he's one of many, and he's one of the first. So he's not going to make it on the early part. He might make it many years later beyond the time me and D-Dub won't be around anymore.
John Stallworth had a better career than Lynn Swann.
A different type of receiver.
Let me ask you guys, since we're on the topic of Hall of Famers, Vinatieri's a Hall of Famer, right?
Adam Vinatieri, yes.
Do you think Justin Tucker is already?
Yeah.
Justin Tucker. The kicker for Baltimore?
Yeah.
Yeah, the kicker from Baltimore. He's going to go down.
It would be nice if he had one more.
I think he needs another 5 solid years of great field goals.
He needs one more. He needs one more big win kick. Because he's got the record, he's got the longevity. He needs one more big win kick, and I mean not in a regular season game. I'm talking about a winner wonderland like winning kick or a championship kick, something like that. I can see him getting in. He's got a long career, and and no, Mr. Nyborg, Fred Biletnikoff in today's game. No, I don't think Fred Biletnikoff would be a slot receiver. I think he would still be a boundary receiver. It's just that he wouldn't be the number one. And he wasn't the number one on those Raider teams because Cliff Branch was the number one. He was the one who took the top off the defense. But Biletnikoff ran those deep ends. He ran crossing routes.
I put the hashtag from the show the other night. Hashtag get Richmond in HOF. Use that hashtag on everything, guys. Go to Twitter, tag NFL, tag Pro Football Hall of Fame, and use the hashtag get Richmond in HOF. And I'm telling y'all right now, we need to do a push as a family together to get.
I'd like to see Richmond Webb get into the Hall of Fame. I would like to see that. Orlando Mari is Hall of Famer. No.
Hey,
Orlando Mari was good, but he's not Hall of Fame.
Hey, Steven.
What's up, Big John?
You know what I did notice on that list? There was only one white guy on that entire list.
No, there was more than that.
Steve Largent.
Raymond Berry, Steve Largent.
Yep.
Biletnikoff. Mr. Hirsch. Yeah.
You guys really don't think that Wes Welker is Hall of Fame worthy?
I'll put it this way. I think Wes Welker.
I think he'll be the first slot receiver.
I'm telling you right now, I would not be surprised if he gets in.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's the only first slot
either.
receiver.
I would not be surprised if he gets in.
Well, you see, as a slot receiver, I don't think he's the first one. I think there's a slot receiver on that same team that's better.
Give me one slot receiver that you would put in over him, D-Dub. That's my question.
I asked him, but he didn't.
The same one who replaced him. The same one who replaced him in New England.
No, the guy from Pittsburgh. The guy who was there for all those years. And he was a blocker and all.
Lance Allworth?
No, he's talking about Hines.
Hines Ward.
Hines Ward. Let's look up his numbers real quick.
Hines Ward is in the blocking Hall of Fame. I'll give him that.
Hines Ward is probably
he was very good. I probably could see him more so than Wes Welker. That's for sure.
All right, Hines Ward, 1,000 yards receiving, or excuse me, 1,000 yards, 1,000 receptions, 1,200 yards receivings, and 85 touchdowns. So his numbers are a little bit better than
12,000 yards receptions, not 1,200.
Yeah, 12,000.
Okay,
12,000. My bad.
Okay,
you knew what I meant.
They're not.
You knew what I meant. Damn it!
Do what I say, not what I
do. What's Chad Johnson's numbers?
Now, Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco, he's going to be considered a boundary. He's not in that same conversation.
He's not a slot.
Yeah, we're talking about slot receivers.
Yeah.
Chad Johnson has 766 receptions, 11,000 receiving yards, and 67 touchdowns.
And see
Chad needed to play another few years.
And what you have to do is this. You have to look at football in respect to either 10-year periods or eras. Now, in the 70s, you didn't have players getting 100 receiving receptions in a year. So you have to put that in perspective. And then you have to go to the 90s and the odds and look at it as what's the average receptions for a 10-year period or 15-year period for the careers. And that's how you make the first discerning criteria for whether somebody's a Hall of Famer. Are they 10 or 15% better than the average mean of all the wide receivers that played that position for that time period. And then you can start having a discussion about somebody being in the Hall of Fame. Until you meet that criteria, you can't even be in the discussion.
No, I agree with you because
well, since you're pulling up receivers' numbers,
you said
Clayton and Duper's numbers and see what they are.
Oh, I believe they should be in the Hall of Fame as well. Go ahead, Big John.
You said Stallworth, but you're absolutely right because in the 70s they didn't throw the ball the way they throw the ball now. So if you're talking about his numbers and you bring that up to today's standards, I think it would be a complete difference.
Yeah, I mean you can't compare wide receivers from the. Let's look at Bob Hayes, Bullet Bob Hayes from the Cowboys, 1960s. World record holder at one point in time in the 40-yard dash. Okay, he had a great impact on NFL football, but you can't compare his numbers to somebody like Marvin Harrison. You can't compare his numbers to someone like who's a I'm getting a brain cramp right now. Somebody like Art Monk, because they played in two different eras.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Same thing you can discuss with basketball when
it also depends on who was your quarterback too. That makes a big difference.
Yeah, but he's not talking about quarterback. He's talking about just the way the game was.
What I'm saying is you can't be a guy who gets a lot of receptions if you got a quarterback that doesn't throw a lot.
No, but
that Hall of Fame quarterback.
No, I know, but that's not even. I get you, but that's not even. That actually helps his argument because in the 70s nobody threw the ball a lot, so it doesn't matter what quarterback you pick. They didn't really throw the football to the degree they throw the football now. So no receiver would have the numbers to compare to this era. Period.
Well, the 70s football era was more of a run game.
Hold on.
What do you got, Steven?
All right, hold on. Mark Duper, Mark Clay. All right, Mark Duper. 511 receptions, 8,869 yards, and 59 touchdowns. Mark Duper. Mark Clayton had 582 receptions, 8,974 yards, and 84 touchdowns. So, look.
Yeah, but both of those guys played
I don't think
14 game seasons, correct?
Yeah, but I don't think that they're Hall of Fame. I would love them to be, but I don't know if that's Hall of Fame worthy.
So, like I said, if you apply what was the average for the receptions or whatever you want to talk for in that period, in that 10-year period when they played, did they get over and above 10 to 15% of the mean? Plus, you have to take this one other thing into consideration. With those two players, they played on the same team. So if they was a number one, if they were a number one on a team separately, you'd have to multiply those stats a little bit more. So that would be my argument for them being in the Hall of Fame. But I get your point, Steven, because if you don't meet a certain number criteria, you might not be able to make it into the Hall of Fame. I don't know what the average mean is.
The biggest problem is they had Nat Moore also.
There you go as well, because it was a three-headed horse, and Nat Moore's numbers cut into the possible numbers for the Marx brothers.
Nat Moore's numbers is just as close as theirs are.
Yeah, I mean you can make an argument. It's a weak argument because you had so many. Again, I'd like to look at the stats and see how they did from the time they came in compared with all the other wide receivers during that era. See where they fell with respect to an average and how far percentage-wise they exceeded that average. That would help me support their argument even more. And yes, I know they broke the mold with respect to the three wide receiver set. I know that they set standards. And they were the first ones to get the 5,000-yard season with respect to the three wide receiver set. I understand all of that. But when you're talking about people's careers, you have to look at them in a way individually and see if they meet exceed the standard to a certain point. That's why somebody like Calvin Johnson's numbers, he gets in. That's why somebody like Mark Duper, Mark Clayton, they're still waiting. And I think a little of that is bias. I'm not saying
definitely biased, that's for sure.
Yeah. I'm not saying racism, I'm not saying bigotry, but bias. There's a difference. Bias.
Like it's bias that as much as I hate Barry Bonds deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
There you go.
I don't like Pete Rose deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
There you go.
As much as I don't like Shoeless Joe Jackson, and actually I don't know.
You know, see now, if you were going to admit to knowing Shoeless Joe Jackson, I was going to say you older than Dirt's dirt.
But look, that's my problem with the Hall of Fame, both baseball and football. It's a popularity contest.
There you go.
And there's no set criteria for you to get in.
You know, and I'm not Terrence Harrington. I'm not going to say it's racism. It's probably the bias against some of the drug problems that were emblematic of society at that point in time and how it's viewed today. Okay, so
my issue is in regards to baseball. I don't mean to change the subject, but in regards to baseball, right?
Yes, you do. You just changed it, so you did mean to change it.
D-Dub, this is what I deal with when I bring in old people. I gotta be so specific and just look. D-Dub, what I'm trying to say is, God, I gotta use sign language and everything for D-Dub. Anyways, what I'm trying to say, bro, because y'all are giving me off my game.
You can't use sign language. Come on.
What I'm trying to say is, when it comes to Baseball Hall of Fame, there's no way you can go back and look at every single person. I see your leg. I
know that as well. I know sign language as well, bro.
When I see Baseball Hall of Fame, there's no way to go back and see every player that used steroids or didn't use steroids. So because of that alone, that's why I truly believe even players that have admitted to it or have been found guilty of it, I think it's part of the game. I think it was part of the game then. And you have to put them in. I think you have to put them in. It was part of the game. There was a time where there was the dead ball era. There was a time when you were allowed to use tar on your hands and all that crap, right? So I have no problem with that. What I do have a problem with, and with baseball, it goes down a lot deeper than that, because I truly feel that the owners and baseball knew what was going on at the time, and they turned their heads because they wanted to get rich, and they saw fans coming back to the stadium after the 94 strike. And I have so many, it goes so much deeper. I could have a whole show on that. But when it comes to football, I feel like if you don't do what the voters want you to do, then you're not going to get in. Like, I'm very surprised Terrell Owens got in. Terrell deserves to be in, but I was so surprised he got in.
Numbers.
I was so surprised. He ripped the Hall of Fame even when he was playing. He ripped the voters and how everybody did it. So, look, I was very surprised.
Yeah, Terrell Owens, you think about it. How many Super Bowl teams was he part of? Come on.
0.
That he played in.
I mean, he played in a couple. He played.
How about San Francisco? How about Dallas? How about Philadelphia?
What's the point? What are you trying to make? Like, I don't understand. What
I'm trying to make is part of, because he was on the team, is why those teams made it.
Yeah, but San Francisco, I don't think he went to a Super Bowl with San Fran. I don't think he went to a Super Bowl with Dallas.
Did.
Did he go to a Super Bowl with San Francisco?
Yeah, he did.
I know.
I'm pretty
sure.
I know he went.
He didn't go to one with Dallas. He didn't go to one with Dallas. He went to one with the Eagles.
I know he went with Eagles, and I'm pretty sure he went with San Francisco.
I think he went to some playoff games. I think he went
for sure playoff games, because there was some highlights where he was the one.
Cruz, I tried to click on it. It won't let me click on it, bro. or no, you're sorry. That was Anthony. Panel, I think the reason why guys like Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, and Jose Canseco, even though they have the numbers, is not going to get a Hall of Fame is because of steroids. I get you on that. I'm not saying that that's not the case. What I'm saying is here's the problem. If I at baseball in 1995, 1996, 2002, 2003, right? And I'm sitting there and I play left field. And the guy that also plays left field in spring training with me decides that he's taking steroids, but I'm a better pure hitter and a better pure fielder. Even if he's less than me, he might get in because steroids give him what would be maybe a pop out, a home run. Maybe be able to make a throw that normally wouldn't get to home plate. Maybe he gets to home plate because he's got a little bit more power in him. So
does Tony Gwynn get in?
Tony Gwynn 100% should get in. And my point is what I'm trying to make to that question there, what somebody just asked, is that's the reason that I have no problem with it. Because if I had to choose between not playing in Major League Baseball because of what everybody around me was doing, and it was everywhere in Major League Baseball, compared to not, that's not fair. That's not fair to anybody, either side. You can pay and you can place the blame on the players. That's all well and good. But I'm telling you right now, Bud Selig's the biggest hypocrite in all of sports because he was an owner for the Milwaukee Brewers at the time, and there is no way in God's green earth did he not know that players were taking steroids in his locker room. There's no way he didn't know that. And boy, you're gonna get me fired up about baseball. Don't get me fired up about baseball because
I'm not even gonna get into that steroid stuff with baseball. I'm not today. I don't feel like it.
It's just it's too big. Like you could have a whole show about that, and
you could have a whole month of shows on steroid use.
I personally feel as though like there's so many peaks and valleys with that, and if you want to be doing it, or Obi says our tail greeters going to be doing their thing at the stadium for the Jaguars game 9:30 a.m.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
No, we're not. It's in London.
I know, but you could still have one at the stadium.
Tail Greeters is not flying me out to London, and
I'm saying not going to be. I'm saying it not that they would fly you out there, but they could do something at a game, at a place. That's a good question.
That is a good question from that standpoint, but no, we're not. We are going to be doing some major stuff. I'm telling you right now, Fan Club Weekend, the Texans game is going to be fire. Saturday night is the Bo Campers meet and greet, and I will be streaming live for 2, maybe 3 hours there. And I will have it's going to be awesome. And then, so even if you don't get to go to Fan Club Weekend, that's Saturday, November 3rd, I think. Then Sunday
I'll see you there. That's the Bo Campers and Sunrise.
I'm not sure exactly which one, but I'll figure that out. And then Sunday's the tailgate, which we'll do 2 hours, 10 a.m. to noon at the tailgate, which is going to be awesome and legendary. We're going to have fans from all over the world and all over the country. NorCal, by the way, shout out to NorCal. NorCal, Scott Howe of Atlanta Doll Fan Club and Mark NorCal of NorCal Doll Fan Club have been putting together Fan Club Weekend for the last 5 to 7 years, maybe even longer. But I'm telling you right now, what it was and what it's become is so big. And so that's going to be big. And then Monday night, this is not official yet, but I'm probably going to be doing a live in-stream watch party from one of the big restaurants. I can't name it yet until it gets set in stone for Monday night. And then I'm going to be doing live morning shows probably from Dirty Sportswear in Oakland Park the whole week. And then Thursday will be the Ravens game, and we're going to do a big thing with tail greeters at the Ravens game too. So, guys, it's going to be big. Like that whole week, I'm going to have stuff in the morning and in the evening, and if you cannot make it to Fan Club Weekend, don't worry about it. I'm going to take care of you. You're going to have your ticket right here on Miami Sports Music Podcast Network.
Hey, NorCal, I'm sorry I missed you when I was in Northern California. I got real busy, but I know you do great things out there. Continue to do so, man.
Yep. November 6th, Oakland Park Boat Campers, NorCal said. Yeah, all right. Well, hey, look, final thoughts of the days, gentlemen. Number one, D-Dub, thank you so much for co-hosting with me today. I just
no
want to
problem.
say this was a good thing. I enjoyed it. I think I like Throwback Thursdays with D-Dub. And Al, thank you for coming on, brother. You always make it fun too, man. I have to start. You know the two old puppets, the Muffets.
Lord.
That's who you two guys are. You guys are the two old Muffets. That's who you guys are.
What?
D-Dub, are you coming down to Fort Lauderdale during that time? Or Miami?
I'm thinking about coming down this weekend for the football game with the Bucs. I still haven't made a final decision. I'm going to have some conversations today that will make my final decision.
D-Dub,
I was thinking if he wants to, okay, and that's up to Steven, we could do the Throwback Thursday of that week. A live one with me, you, and him meet wherever he is at.
Yeah, dude, Dirty Sportswear, Throwback Thursday live at the warehouse at Dirty Sportswear. That would be awesome.
That sounds
I'm
like
down for it if you are.
that's a tentative. It's a tentative for me. I have to see. I like how it sounds. I'll even rock a Kango.
I like it.
Well, if worse comes to worse, we could do two people live and you coming in like you are now.
There you
How's
go.
that sound?
There you go. Either way, either option, I'm down with it.
I like it, guys. All right. Final thoughts of the day. Al, you go first.
Oh. Let's hope that we end up pulling another. We'll call this the Tampa Bay Miracle. How's that sound?
I ain't mad at you. I think that's a good way to put it. I agree with you, man.
Hopefully we have a good weekend. Somehow we pull out a win.
All right. I appreciate it, Al. Thank you for coming on this morning, brother. Love you, man.
You're welcome, my friend.
Have a good one. All right, D-Dub. The floor is yours.
You know, sometimes in life, you try to be prepared for opportunities, and sometimes you go through all of that time preparing for certain moments in time, and you don't even know when they're going to happen. So I say that people always be able and willing to take advantage of the opportunities that come to you in life. Within 3 seconds of me seeing a notification on my Twitter, I jumped at the opportunity to co-host with Steven. Now, I have, for my entire football life, I've been memorizing and remembering different things that have occurred in my football journey. And it was evident in certain times weeks ago when we've had conversations on Throwback Thursdays, and even before we had the unofficial moniker, just about things I would put in the chat that would show that, hey, I remember back in the day. I remember the 976-1313 phone numbers. But when you do all of that in order to be able to someday have an opportunity to express all of that, to show that. So always be prepared, youngsters. Always be prepared, because you never know when your opportunity will pop. All right, keep your heads up. Don't get despondent. Don't lose faith in life. Always be prepared. So that's my moral for the day. Thank you, Steven, for giving me an opportunity. All right, and I know there are things have been happening in me that have prevented me from really reigniting my show. And every day I think about doing it again, and I'm going to do it. Look for something either tonight or tomorrow that will be something a little more contemporary for you younger and Miami Dolphin fans, that's going to be coming in the very, very near future. So I'm telling you, giving you a heads up. Put me on your notifications. D-Dub Dolphins Dialogue, just like it is on the screen. Hit the channel, and you'll get a notification because me and somebody who is very big in the Miami Dolphin chat community, we're gonna do something, and I'm not gonna. That's all the spoiler I'm gonna say. But thank you again, Steven. Thank you again, Steven. Thank you again, Steven. Spread kindness, positivity, and love is coming up tomorrow. And for you fans, go Dolphins! Go Dolphins! Go Dolphins! Go Dolphins! Go Dolphins, baby! I'm out.
D-Dub. I love you, D-Dub. And he dropped the mic. I'm telling y'all right now, y'all are the best fans in the world. There are no better fans than Miami Dolphin fans. I don't care what y'all say. Somebody. All right, hold on. I got a real quick surprise for you, I think. Give me 1 second. I think y'all gonna like this. Well, I know I'm gonna like it. There we go. All right. There we go. I just put it in there. Okay. All right, real quick. Shoot me the link on Messenger. All right, hold on. Hold on, people. I got something else. I don't even have this stuff pulled up. Give me 1 second. There we go. All right. While I wait for that to happen. Okay. So just so y'all know, D-Dub, I've been wanting to do Throwback Thursday with you for a hot second now. And so I appreciate that. All right, real quick. So for those of you who don't know, I know gambling is a big part of the community, right? People like to do fantasy sports, and I don't talk about gambling on my channel for many reasons. Number one, I've not gambled in over 4.5 years. And if you ever have a problem with gambling, please come to me. I'm an advocate. I'm a very, very big advocate for gambling, or if you have a problem with gambling. But I also get that it's part of sports, and I also understand that it's part of the fun of sports. So Cameron has a guy that y'all seen on the show a couple times with Dirty Sportswear and also East 32 Dolphins Tailgate. He is a Jets fan. We're not going to blame him for that. But he's one of the funniest guys I've met. Like, he's hilarious. And I think y'all are going to love him. I really do. Because I do. He's a good guy. So let me bring on Cameron to talk a couple of quick picks for you sports bettors out there. We'll call him Quick Pick Nick. Go ahead, Cameron.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Stephen D from Dirty Sportswear.
Stephen, what's up?
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good, bro. Good.
Good. We got Quick Pick Nick here in the house.
We got some picks this week that I think you guys got to think about to look at. This week, I'm taking the Jets over Atlanta.
Oh my God! Really? Well,
Yep.
you gotta give the point spread and the over under and all that.
Listen, I gotta look them up.
Cameron, this is your thing. Cameron.
Cameron's killing me. Listen, I just walked in. I'm not prepared. I just literally walked in. I just got a haircut.
So let's talk first about why he thinks the Jets are going to go into Atlanta on the road with a rookie quarterback and beat the Falcons.
Falcons have no defense. They're atrocious. So I think if there's any time now, the Jets have a chance to beat them. Last week they should have lost, but they won because of a field goal issue. But I think this week, you got to take the Jets this week. They're going in hot. Atlanta's terrible.
That's a hot take from Quick Pick Nick.
I also think, what was my other pick that I liked?
Oh, you like Miami?
No, absolutely not. I do not like Miami this week. Miami's going to get pummeled. Miami's not going anywhere with Brissett at quarterback. Don't stay away from Miami. Take
for
Tampa.
betters.
Yes, stay away from Miami for betters today.
So the Jets at the Falcons, the over is 46. Over or under?
Under 46.
All right. Rams at Seattle. Rams are 2.5 underdogs.
I like the Rams. I like the Rams.
And the Falcons are giving 3 to the Jets, so that's a pretty good play.
I like the Jets.
That's a pretty good play. Who else you got?
I like Denver over Pittsburgh.
So Pittsburgh's
Remember
giving one.
that Jets Atlanta game's in London.
It's in London.
It's in London, and it's a 9:30 start, 9:30 a.m.
Oh, you're right. That's right. So, it's an even playing field. Even makes even more sense, right? Who else you got?
Green Bay is given 3 points to Cincinnati.
In Cincinnati. Burrow's been playing good.
I like Green Bay.
Jamar Chase has been catching the balls, unlike what he did in the preseason. We hate Aaron Rodgers.
I'm taking Green Bay.
Trey Burton just hit on his 10-leg parlay last week. He should be up here giving the picks.
Who else we going here?
And we got the Saints at Washington. You want to touch that one? Eagles at Carolina. Carolina giving 3.5. Titans at Jacksonville. Titans are rolling into Jacksonville, 4-point favorites.
Yeah, but are the receivers playing this week?
No.
I don't know.
Neither's Jacksonville's, though.
And then stick with Tennessee. I don't know. See, I like Buffalo.
So Buffalo's going into Kansas City, and Kansas City's giving 2.5 to Buffalo.
I think Buffalo's tough.
I'm taking Buffalo.
I'm taking Buffalo. Buffalo's a good team.
Fantasy fan panel, no, we weren't aware. So this is very, very quick pick, Nick. It's off the cuff.
Yeah, I just got done getting a haircut. I didn't even really pay attention. Listen, fantasy fan panel. I don't think the Atlanta's blowing.
You're not selling it on guys taking your pick, Nick. Come on, man.
Well, then don't pick my pick and let me know how that goes on Monday morning. I mean, shit. I'm trying to be real here.
Hey, swear jar. I'm cussing. No,
I didn't know you couldn't swear on here. I didn't know. I thought this was like satellite radio.
Cameron, you have to tell him the house rules, man.
I don't know the rules and regulations. No one sent me a flyer.
And Anthony, no. My friends refer to me as the mush for a reason. I don't gamble. That's why we got quick pick Nick here.
This guy
Cap for Life says stay away from the Houston game.
This guy said I look like a bookie. I like it. Cap for Life, you're my new favorite guy.
Hey, whoever said stay Cap for Life, stay away from the Houston game. I agree. The Patriots are given 9 at Houston.
Yeah, that's a trap.
That's a trap game, right?
Trap. Stay away.
Hey, so bringing it back to the real, through 4 games, the first 4 games, everyone trashing Tua and smoking Collinsworth, smoking, you know what, off of Mac Jones. Mac Jones with a 62.9% QBR. Through 4 games, Tua had a 68% QBR and was 3-1 with 7 touchdowns and 2 picks. Mac Jones has 2 touchdowns and 5 picks. You do the math.
All right. Anything else? Because we got to get out of here.
Nick, do you have any games where you don't know who's going to win 50-50, or most of the games you pick are locks?
I don't know. I've been pretty good on my picks, actually.
Yeah, he's got a good track record.
I think when I went down there, you said you had like a 76. It was like 76% of the games you had hit or something like that.
I was hot. Crazy. Remember the first 3 weeks when we were picking games, I was hot.
He was hot.
I was good. Yeah. I mean, I'll give you guys picks every week. I mean, I didn't know I was giving picks right now. I just kind of walked into this.
I set him up.
He kind of set me up. I just went and got a haircut.
All right, so
I'll be prepared next week. So Nick, every Thursday, I'm down.
Cameron, put in a tweet, quick pick Nick's picks for the week, And we'll retweet it on Miami Sports Music.
Hey, the Bears at Raiders. Raiders are given 5.5. Justin Fields is going to have a game against that weak secondary from the Raiders. That might be a high-scoring game, but I don't see the Raiders winning by 5.5. That's my pick.
All right, you heard the man.
All right.
Good luck, guys.
I'm answering Alfred. All right, Steve. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Clock Blocker fam.
Sounds good, brother.
I'll be phoning in from West Coast time from Denver, Colorado. So it'll be early, but I'll be up and I'll see you in the morning.
Sounds good, brother. Be good.
Later, guys.
Have a good day, guys.
All right. That was Quick Picks with Quick Pick Nick. We are honestly, I thought that was supposed to start tomorrow. I forgot it was supposed to start today. But yeah, so I am super excited about that. Look, I get it. It's part of sports, and I'm not. I don't do it, but that doesn't mean that my fans of Miami sports music doesn't do it. So I wanted to give you guys something that obviously, I don't do. But if you guys have a problem with gambling, please let me know, and I can get you pointed in the right direction because that's real stuff. I don't play around with it at all, and I don't have a problem for people who do it. Like, hey, do you have a good time? Enjoy it. But just know that's what that is. You got that hat in red with white letters, make Miami great again. No, I'm telling everybody likes this hat. Everybody likes this hat. This is Justin Finsticky's hat that he made. And I try to rock other people's gears. But K Flexen says, I got you. K Flexen says, I got you. All right. Good addition to the show, Alfred says. Yeah, so every Thursday we will do well, I won't. Cameron will. Cameron with Nick will do quick picks with Quick Pick Nick. And I think it'll be a really good addition to the show, a little segment for the sports gamblers in the house, and we'll do that. All right, so I love you guys. I hope you all had a good time. Peace and hair grease tomorrow, 8 a.m. Spread kindness Fridays. Let's enjoy it. Let's have a good time. Love you all. Peace.